Mara. Evan. The night everything went quiet. Mara Whitfield stands barefoot in the doorway, eyes wide, breath shaking, hands painted red by a life she swore she loved. Evan Whitfield lies behind her on the kitchen tiles, still, broken, the clock screaming 2:17 a.m. Neighbors later say her wail felt rehearsed, too sharp, too sudden, like a cue missed then remembered. Police arrive to a scene that looks tragic, but feels staged, furniture untouched, no sign of struggle. Just a body and a wife performing grief, and in the silence between her sobs, something waits, watching, calculating, daring anyone to look closer. She tells them everything through tears, a break-in, a shadow, a man running, words tumble fast, too fast, detectives exchange glances. Evan was 6'2", former college athlete, yet nothing overturned, no forced entry, no weapon found. Mara's face is flawless, no bruises, no scratches, mascara smeared with intention, neighbors recall her smiles. Curated dinners, a marriage framed for social media, but perfection leaves no room for accidents, and that night, nothing seems accidental, not the body, not the story, not the way Mara keeps checking her reflection in the dark window. The autopsy whispers before it speaks, blunt force trauma, repeated, precise, someone who knew where to hit, no defensive wounds, as if Evan trusted the hands that killed him. Detectives linger on that detail, trust, it lingers like smoke. Mara insists she was asleep, claims she woke to the sound, but the coroner's timeline tightens, death earlier than she said, a gap opens, small, dangerous, inside it, truth starts breathing, slow, patient, waiting for someone to make a mistake. Audio pulled from the archive, replayed in a quiet room. Mara's voice rises, falls, too controlled, she says Evan's name twice, then forgets. Dispatcher notes the delay before panic, 6 seconds of silence. Detectives freeze the waveform, silence speaks louder than screams. Why stop crying? Why inhale? Why reset? When a husband lies dying feet away. Mara later digital forensics unlock what grief cannot, deleted searches, how hard to kill with blunt force, how to clean blood from tile. How long before rigor mortis sets in? Mara claims Evan used her phone earlier, but typing patterns betray her, pressure, rhythm, her hands, her questions, her fear, suddenly searchable, suddenly permanent. The internet never forgets, neither do detectives, explains it as shock, but shock doesn't rehearse, and somewhere in those 6 seconds, the mask slips, just enough. Forensics return at dawn, light exposes what darkness hid, microscopic blood cast off behind the sofa, cleaned, badly. A faint shoe print by the sink, size too small for Evan, bleach smell layered over citrus, intentional, careful. Investigators map the room like a chessboard, every move planned, every emotion placed. The break-in story begins to rot, slowly, beautifully, like fruit left in the sun. She adjusts details, says Evan argued earlier, stress from work, financial pressure. Detectives listen, let her talk, contradictions pile gently, timestamps don't align, text sent after Evan was already dead. Messages from his phone, heart emojis. Investigators exchange nothing but looks, because killers always try to keep the story alive, even after the body stops. Friends describe cracks in the marriage, arguments whispered behind smiles, financial strain, an insurance policy upgraded months before. Coincidence or foresight? Investigators pull records, discover a second phone registered to Michael, prepaid, used sparingly, messages deleted, but one recovered fragment. Anniversary tonight, it has to be tonight. Context missing, meaning unclear, could be romantic, could be fatal. Michael denies knowledge, says Sandra planned a surprise. Detectives file it away, another thread in a widening web. Meanwhile the community mourns, candles on the sidewalk. Sandra remembered as kind, devoted, unaware she was being reduced to theories, each one erasing her voice a little more. A false lead erupts suddenly, a convicted burglar matching the sedan sighting, recent release, living nearby. Media latches on, fear spreads, police interrogate, alibi solid, surveillance clears him, the case snaps back to the beginning, pressure mounts. Michael's lawyer appears, cooperation cools, interviews become scripted, detectives feel the door closing, evidence thin, time thick, anniversaries pass without answers, and the house on Willow Drive sold quickly. Michael leaves town, grief packed into boxes, suspicion left behind like dust. Cameras flash. Mara dresses in white, innocence stitched into fabric. Jurors watch every blink. Prosecution dismantles the performance piece by piece. The 9/11 call, the searches, the camera, the hammer. Defense claims trauma, abuse, fear, but evidence speaks colder, louder, clearer. She takes the stand, voice trembling, but grief arrives late, emotions misfire, tears before questions, smiles after. Jurors recoil, empathy drains. The mask collapses, for the first time. Mara looks afraid. Not of what she did, but of being seen, guilty, echoed, final. Mara doesn't cry, she stares ahead, calculation replaced by emptiness, sentence read, life without parole. Cameras capture the moment she realizes, the audience is gone, the show is over. Years later, a journalist revisits the file, notices something missed, bruises on Evan's arms, older, defensive, inconsistent, a second pattern, quieter, darker. Questions reopen. Was Evan planning to leave, or planning something worse? Encrypted emails, affairs, threats, financial traps, control disguised as love. The marriage was already a crime scene. Mara didn't snap, she calculated, but what if she believed she was surviving? A letter surfaces, written by Evan, undated, admitting he staged the divorce threat, to trap Mara, to own her forever. Detectives reread everything, the hammer, the silence, the fear. Suddenly the monster has two faces. Mara wasn't innocent. Evan wasn't either. The performance failed because the truth was too complex for a single villain. A marriage became a prison, then a grave, and somewhere between love and control, justice chose a side, but the truth still watches, still waits, still refuses to stay quiet.